child is always falling sick, then watch this video. So there are 3 parts to falling sick. The first is to prevent infection, the second is to build immunity, and the third is to promote recovery from illness. So when any of these 3 things are not in place, you will find that your child is falling sick more frequently. So let's go into the details and see how you can do these 3 things effectively. So the first part is to prevent infections. The most important thing to do to prevent infections is to wash hands. Now, do not use disinfectants or hand sanitizers to clean your child's hands. Make sure that your child washes their hands with soap and water frequently and washes them in the right way. If your child has allergies of any kind, especially if they have respiratory allergies, that is, they're allergic to dust or to fumes or something, and they're always having a running nose, make sure you get the allergies treated, because allergies predispose to infection. A child who has allergies will get infections more frequently. The third thing to remember is to give vaccines. Give your child all the age appropriate vaccines. I cannot emphasize this enough. Vaccines are a boon to mankind. They have saved millions of lives and they have increased the lifespan of human beings tremendously. You don't want your child to miss out on the advantages of vaccines. Make sure you give your child every vaccine and give it on time. And last but not the least, do not clean your house with disinfectants. Also, do not use disinfectant soaps to bathe your children or yourself. So what we do when we use disinfectants is that we kill all bacteria. Now, not all bacteria are bad for us. In fact, the bad bacteria are probably very small in number in typical places like houses. When we're killing bacteria, we're typically killing the good bacteria. What this does is it pushes a child's immunity down and causes a child to get more infections. So these are the 4 things you need to do in order to prevent infection in your child. Moving on to part 2. Building immunity. So a child with high immunity is going to have fewer infections. It's as simple as that. Will fall sick less often. Now, the core of a good immune system is, of course, a good diet. Do not give your child junk food. Give them freshly prepared food. Prepare the food at home. Use locally available ingredients. Do not use vegetables and fruits that have come from far away and have been in cold storage. As far as possible, pluck them if possible from the trees. If not, at least buy them from vendors who are selling them fresh to you. Make sure that your child sleeps enough. So sleep is the time when the immune system is at work and it removes all the infecting agents and keeps your child healthy. So the longer your child sleeps, the more chance the child's immune system has to protect your child from illness. So if your child is sleeping less, make sure your child sleeps more, because that is going to prevent illness. Then the next, very important, keep your child stress-free. So stress actually brings down the immunity phenomenally. A stressed child is going to fall sick more often. Sadly, our children are often stressed because we're trying to feed them more. So force feeding is one of the biggest causes of stress in children. You're not helping your child's immunity by force feeding them. You're making them more sick by causing them stress. Let them eat as much as they want. Let them sleep enough and let them play. That is what will keep them healthy. Then, to build immunity, the next thing that your child requires is sunshine. So take your child out into the sun. Children must get at least 1 hour of sunlight every single day. It's best if they're playing in the sun and getting at least 1 hour of physical exercise in the sun every day. And last but definitely not the least, give your child enough water to drink. Make sure your child is not dehydrated. Remember that the immune system is a liquid medium, and if your child is dehydrated, your child is not going to have very good immunity. One of the prime reasons is that the food that you're giving your child has to be absorbed and carried in liquid medium to the various cells of the body to give them the strength from those nutrients. Now, dehydrated children are not going to have that. Dehydrated children are also going to have many other problems. So make sure your child drinks enough water to build their immunity. Coming to the last bit, recovery. So usually children keep falling sick once they've fallen sick. The reason is that one illness brings down their immunity, and before they can recover, they get back into the system of going to school and going to classes and doing everything else. And this does not allow complete recovery from one infection, does not allow the immune system to build its capacity all over again, and this results in your child falling sick over and over again. So remember that if you want your child to fall sick less frequently with every episode of illness, make sure that the recovery is complete. How do you ensure complete recovery? Give your child enough rest. So the day the fever goes down, don't send your child back to school. School can wait, immunity cannot. Because if you send your child to school the very next day, the immunity is still not built and your child will come back with another infection very quickly. So rest is very, very important. Let your child rest for at least a week after the fever is gone. The second thing to remember is to give your child easily digestible food. So the digestive system does not get too much importance when the immune system is working hard. So once the immune system has finished its job of getting rid of all the infecting organisms, the digestive system slowly starts working again. Now at this point, it doesn't have too many resources because all the resources were diverted towards the immune system. So it's working on very poor resources, and you have to give it semi-digested food so that it can absorb the nutrients from it easily. So what are semi-digested foods? You can give idli, dosa. These are fermented foods and already semi-digested. Khichdi, which is a great combination of dal and rice, which is very easily digestible. Give such food so that the child can easily recover. Of course, complete all the courses of medicines, give them at the times asked by the doctor. So if it's a 12-hourly dose, make sure the exact 12-hour gap before you give the next dose. Do not delay the dose, do not give the dose early. That doesn't work. So the medicines, the rest, and the food are very, very important for your child to recover completely and to build their immunity again so that they don't fall sick again. So these are the 3 things you need to put in place to build your child's health, to ensure that they don't fall sick frequently. So if you're going to follow all this, type 3 so that you remember that there are 3 parts to it, and go about it in a systematic and an organized way. I'm Dr. Debmita. I talk about the scientific way to parenting on my channel. Subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon when you subscribe so that you know whenever I post the next video. I will see you in my next video. Stay healthy and happy.